からもうすでに20年、その間、歌手として作曲家として精力的な活動を続けてきました。来日公演を終えたポール・マッカートニーさんと同世代2歳年上の平野アンカーマンがインタビューしました。
Hello.
NHK.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
How are you? Os.
Well, you must have found many grown-up old Beatles fans as well as new fans of Paul McCartney's.
Yeah, and sometimes the old grown-up ones bring their children. So you're now starting to see babies in the audience, which is fine. I just hope they have earplugs.
Well, when we listen to you, when you sing numbers like Hey Jude or Yesterday or Sgt. Pepper, you see, it gives you some kind of sentiment.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is when I wrote them, like song like Yesterday, I wrote when I was, I don't know, 20 or 21 or something. And so it was kind of a young man writing about yesterday. I didn't have many yesterdays, you know, it was only about a few years of them. Now, obviously, at 47, it means much more. It's much more emotional now for me because, you know, my yesterdays involve bringing up children now, and when they were little babies, and now they're 20 years old, you know, they're big women and people now. So it's interesting as you go on, the songs seem to have more depth. You know, words that I just wrote because I like the sound of them. Now I like the meaning of them. And on this tour, we've been having a lot of that. You know, you're standing there doing something like Yesterday or Hey Jude, and you'll see a fully grown man just in tears. And you just, it's difficult to carry on, you know, but it's great. It's such a strong emotion that I don't mind that.
Well, you have had marvelous years as a member of the Beatles, and is that sort of a burden to you?
No, it's okay. It was a burden just after the Beatles broke up because it was a little bit painful and we had a lot of business differences and a lot of arguments. So for a little while there, I think all of us had the feeling of, you know, will there be any life after the Beatles? It's a pretty difficult act to follow. But as time's gone on, I've just done my own thing. And now I'm just very proud to have been in the Beatles. You know, when I look back, I think it was a great thing. It was a great group, and it brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. And, you know, if you can do that in life, who's complaining, you know?
What do you think is the biggest difference between Paul McCartney of 1960s and Paul McCartney of 1990s?
4 children. That's a big difference. Yeah, I think, you know, the maturity that comes with being a father. In the 60s, I was just a kid, you know, just a young man enjoying myself. Now I'm still enjoying myself, but now it's with a much wider view of the world, a wider, more mature view of politics, and, you know, through the children, there's maybe more emotion and more maturity. That's why on this we've done, we're supporting the Friends of the Earth. Because again, you know, if I have the chance to come around and do interviews like this, it is good to make a serious point as well as have a lot of fun. The concerts aren't serious, you know, they're a lot of fun and emotion. But it's quite nice to make a serious point about ecology or something as we go. So that's been quite rewarding as well. Okay, here we go.
Good Earth.
Thank you.
Good Earth.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very
Grow
much.
well.
Thank you.
Good luck, tree. Grow well.
Peace tree. 今回のコンサートのテーマが環境を守ろうということだったので、ジャパニーズプランティングセレモニーなんかいかがですかっていうふうにポールに言いましたら、大変興味を持ちまして、ぜひやってみたいっていうふうに言ってくださいました。
So as a symbolic thing, planting a tree is a good thing, and I understand in Japan it's even more symbolic than it is for us in the West. So I like number one, I like seeing the kids. I love little kids and stuff, and when they're singing and stuff, I mean, you know, I love that. So that's a great thing. And then the kid who did the speech for me mentioned, thank you for coming with your message of ecology for the environment, because we need it. It's very necessary so that we grow up. So it's very good to be able to do something like that with your life, you know. So I enjoyed it. Linda and I had fun, and we planted the tree, and they've called the tree Paul. So, you know, maybe in many years it'll just remind people that there's a need for to care for the world we live in, and if I've helped with that sentiment, then I'm very proud.
Well, Paul, what do you think you'll be doing in 10 years from now?
I think I'll probably be still involved in music. But obviously, as I get older, I think it's got to slow down to some extent, you know, because, mind you see, with the Beatles, we thought we'd be finished at about 25, age 25. We thought that was the age you had to finish. And then we looked at the age of 40, and we thought, well, 40, I mean, people are old by the time they're 40, you know, because it's the way, when you're young, you think that. When we reached 40, you know, I think I was still writing music and still enjoying it. Now I'm 47 and I'm still on tour and we're selling out. And, you know, the audience seem to think it's a good show. So I think I'll still be involved in music. But I have now another interesting direction, which is into what you might call more serious music. Next year I'm doing a piece for the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra. Now, so that's very interesting for me, because it's a different, you know, as I get a bit older, it's been nice to be able to compose more maybe than perform. But I don't know, I've always keep thinking I've got to retire off performances, but when you get an audience like this, you know, you keep thinking, I'll go a few more years. But I think, you know, I am interested now in writing music, and I'm writing this piece which will be about an hour of kind of orchestral music for next year to be performed in the cathedral in Liverpool. So that's an interesting direction. If that works out well, I might end up being a white-bearded composer.
Do you think you'll be writing ballads?
I think so. Yeah, I like melody. I'm very interested in melody, and I find it quite easy to do. And if you've got a gift for it, it's a shame to not do it, you know. And there are people who seem to think I've got a good gift for that. So, yeah, maybe the tunes will just have to get a bit more ballady, you know, than rock and roll.
And when do you think you'll be coming back to Japan next time?
I think maybe in a couple of years, maybe 2 more years. The promoter wants us to come back in the summer. He said there's still more demand. But I would like to come back with a new piece of music and with a new show. I don't like to get boring, you know. So we've done this show. We've had 6 shows, very successful, and we've enjoyed them. I think the people have. So maybe in 2 years' time we'll come back with a new show.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And
You're
good luck.
welcome. Domo.
どうも。
Okay.
大室さんはあれですよね、ビートルズとそれから解散した後彼が作ったウィングスとのちょうど中間の世代なのかしら、それともウィングスの世代なのかしらね。
まあ、私たちの時はもうすでに解散された後でレコードを手にした時はああもうこのグループはいないんだなって、昔のグループなんだなっていう気はしましたね。でもウィングスはやはり今っていう感じはしますよね。
けどやっぱり「Yesterday」なんていうビートルズの曲は、
やはり高校の頃最初だったと思うんですけど、必死でね歌詞を一生懸命辞書で調べて読んで、多分最初に覚えた英語のちゃんとしたああいう歌っていうのは、ね、やはりビートルズの歌だったんじゃないかなと思うんですよね。
あとこのポール・マッカートニーという人についてね、補足的な情報を付け加えると、彼はベジタリアン菜食主義者なんですね。ですからその日本に来る外人の中では、その寿司屋に行かない珍しい人なんじゃないですかなんて聞いたらね、いやお寿司屋さんにはベジタリアン用の寿司がいっぱいありますよっていう返事が返ってきましてね。
なんでですか。卵と。
大変落ち着いたというかリラックスした、それこそその年輪をね感じさせる人で。
でもとてもフランクな話し方をされる方ですね。
そうですね。本当にね。まあヒゲの大作曲家になった頃また会ってみたいなという感じがします。それでは次はスポーツです。
もうすでに20年、その間、歌手として作曲家として精力的な活動を続けてきました。来日公演を終えたポール・マッカートニーさんと同世代2歳年上の平野アンカーマンがインタビューします。